Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in here before we start the show to tell you a bit about this project that I'm really excited about called Sync. I'm one of the co-creators of this 5th edition sourcebook module, subclasses, magic item tattoos, dungeons. It's basically bringing together the worlds of American traditional tattoo art from Sam Rusk, an incredible tattoo artist within the TTRPG industry, and pirates. Who doesn't love pirates? What's awesome is that you can go to get.syncripg.com right now to reserve a $1 pin called the Storm in a Bottle pin. It's this really cool pin of a ship in a bottle with a glittery, stormy background. Normally this thing would retail at right around $15, $20, and you can get it for $1 if you go forward with the Kickstarter campaign with your $1 pledge in this pre-launch campaign. So make sure you go to get.syncripg.com right now to get your exclusive pin. I'm really excited about this Kickstarter in September, so I really hope you guys follow along, and let's get to the rest of the show.
I was just sending pictures to Frank going, this is a disaster, this is a disaster.
It was not a disaster. This episode is amazing.
Let my shame not overtake the fact that this episode is for as much as we, it's a banger.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, all of my grief is because of what I imagine it could have been, but what it is, you're still lucky. This is still good. Oh. And if you have anything to say about it, I will cry.
Welcome back to Athletics Check. My name is Johnny Stanton. This is Travis Reeves, and we're going to talk to some nerdy people today about their love of sports. And trust me, they love sports a lot.
They do.
Our guests for this episode, by the way, incredible actor Khary Payton, and incredible producer and creator of Encounter Party, and actor of Ned Donovan.
Just the nicest
people of all time. Khary, you know from The Walking Dead, the voice of Cyborg in pretty much every DC animated show and movie.
I was so...
He's
so cool.
Incredible. Both Ned and Khary are incredible. I want to talk about one thing really quick. And Travis, I think, knows what's coming. Is that we're a small production here, and we wear a lot of hats. Travis, not only are you co-host, but what else do you do for the podcast?
This episode?
This one. This whole thing. The whole thing. Everything.
Oh, this episode I just kind of fucked everything up.
No. And everything. What do you do for Athletics Check?
Sure. I am part of a small crack team of individuals that these are our my microphones.
This is
here at
Travis'
the house.
setup.
I do the audio for the show and occasionally some light production work, whatever that means to you. And yeah, we're what you would call DIY. I certainly did it myself, and sometimes I feel like I just did myself. And this time, I definitely did done myself.
Do you want to tell a little bit of a story?
Sure.
How about you correct me where I leave the picture?
Sure.
Because we show up at Khary's agent's friend's or ex's house or something.
I was too stressed to get that
beautiful place in Los Angeles. In the back, we were going to have an outdoor shoot. It was like going to be early enough in the afternoon where it wasn't going to get too dark, or we thought. And
certainly no one will have an hour and a half long fuck up.
So we set up in the backyard, and Travis is showing up a little bit later. We're trying to get all the audio equipment set up. I have my buddy Rick helping with video
because Frank was away on
business. And Travis comes up to me and says, "Hey, I forgot a really important part of equipment, and I'm going to have to run over to Best Buy." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, no worries." It's
At this point,
me.
we were already like an hour late.
Yeah, that's true. We were already an hour late.
Because it was one of those days, if I have any Los Angeles residents here, where you
Los
get
Angeles,
on the road
traffic.
and Google Maps says you're going to be there at this time. And then, like a carrot on a stick, you keep moving and so does your arrival time.
Keep on getting moved.
They keep on getting moved. And also, I was like, I can get to Glendale in 45 minutes. That was at Los Feliz.
Yeah.
That was Los Feliz. That's not your fault. It's still my fault. But that was Los Feliz.
I mean, we can't complain about the location because the location was incredible.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was incredible. But Travis comes up to me and really quietly says, "Okay, we have to get something from Best Buy. I think it should take me like a 10-minute drive each way." And I'm like, "Cool, yeah, no worries." I mean, first episode with Amy, I had to go run over to Best Buy while you were setting up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew the exact pressure that you were feeling. We were in Amy's home. We didn't want to be like spending too much time there. And
also, there's never been a better person to have to disappoint than Johnny. There's another story we'll get into another time. I've never really understood.
Okay, I just remember that story. It's going to be a different time.
Kind of fucked up your proposal.
You didn't fuck up the proposal.
We kind of, first off, sorry for
let's
swearing.
finish this story first.
But there's this, you ever wonder what the difference between a professional athlete and a normal human being is, or perhaps maybe a manager or a CEO? I'm going to walk into traffic. When things go awry, I've never understood, I guess I should say, like what makes a 2-minute drill possible until I saw the absolute calm that overtook this man as his professional world was crumbling around him.
No.
and
I will say we did get Khary like at most 48 hours before the episode. It was going to be an episode with Ned, and Khary is one of the cast members of Encounter Party, and Ned created Encounter Party, and it was going to be so amazing. He asked him. I got to meet Khary the night before. We were so lucky to be able to get somebody like both of them. Yeah. And then Travis gets in the car, and I remember I kept on seeing people drive down the road. I'm like, is that Travis? No. Okay, it's not Travis. That's not Travis. And then even after the point where I was expecting, okay, Travis is going to be here any minute, then I get a text from Travis saying, I just got to Best Buy. and I'm like, he's almost here, guys.
As daylight just dwindling.
So
I forgot I forgot the Thunderbolt cable. It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. The important thing is that you have an extra now. But
I returned that.
Smart, good. So we don't have video for this episode.
That's the point.
That's the point. Is we do not have a video for this.
It was legitimately too dark.
It was too dark. I think maybe after the first 5 or 6 minutes, it got to the point where you guys were trying your hardest to film, and it was just
I was just sending pictures to Frank going, this is a disaster. This is a disaster.
It was not a disaster. This episode is amazing. And we got to talk to 2 incredible sports fans who just so happen to be some of the biggest nerds on the planet.
Yeah, let my shame not overtake the fact that this episode is for as much as it's a banger.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, all of my grief is because of what I imagine it could have been, but what it is, you're still lucky. This is still good. Oh. And if you have anything to say about it, I will be upset. I will cry.
He will. Yeah. And for those of you who get to watch Patreon, you get a little bonus after show of myself running a little D&D game for all of our guests. And I was so excited for this one because I don't want to spoil any of it. I'm just a little bit upset with myself because I didn't nail the finish.
This is just a commiseration. Both of us.
One of ours cost us an hour and a half. One of ours was like a little bit of a joke that I messed up the punchline of, but I'm not going to say who's who. Anyway, I
feel like one of those dogs on TikTok when they're like, who ate the trash? And it's like...
Travis is just facing the corner with his tail between his legs. No, we love Travis. He'll still have a job after this episode.
We're going to get him fixed soon. It'll be fine.
On that note, we have the incredible Ned Donovan and Khary Payton showing up on Athletics Check right about... now, welcome to Athletics Check.
Hey!
This is super fun. We got Khary Payton. We got Ned Donovan. Khary Payton. I apologize. Right. This is my show to be able to talk to nerds, sport lovers, just like combination. You guys fit the Venn diagram from what I understand.
Right smack middle of that Venn diagram.
Yeah, you guys are, the Venn diagram of like, of the sports and nerd, like just people within that community. I think you were telling me a story last night at the Encounter Party get together. I want to say Encounter Party, but that just ends up being
Encounter Party.
That's
the Encounter Party. That you found like one of your like best friends was a D&D fan, but like it happened over like the course of
3.5 years.
3.5 years you didn't know, and I think that's just like such a story that a lot of sports fans who are D&D nerds can relate to, because for a long time D&D was just kind of something you hid away, and a lot of people still are. So like tell me that story one more time.
So my longest running DM, Hopper Crane, shout out to Hopper Crane, and I are...
That's not a real name.
Hopper Crane.
That's a great name.
Are huge New England Patriots fans, and we went to a New England Patriots bar in New York City, and we knew each other for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And when I was in pitch for Encounter Party, the podcast, I was on a phone call during a Patriots game at that bar talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And Hopper's head like whipped around like I've never seen anything like it, and comes running over, and they're like, "I'm sorry, do you play Dungeons and Dragons?" And I was like, "Yeah, huge fan. I got this podcast," and they were like, "I have a homebrew world. I'm putting together a team like the Avengers," and now I've been in my longest running West Marches campaign.
I love
like
that.
6 years now.
You sent me a video this morning where it's your like a 1 minute video, like it's a show that you do. Can you
I am the host of Daily Tips that may or may not help you.
Right.
A daily micro podcast, 45 seconds to 70 seconds long, where you get a tip of the day that may or may not help you.
There you
And
go.
today's tip is about buying sports jerseys. Go to places where they don't like your sports team and check thrift stores. I have a Corey Dillon
if
jersey.
they're not vandalized already.
Correct. I have a Corey Dillon jersey I found in New York City for like $6.
Well, I was going to say
Game day jersey.
because you're a Patriots fan, and I think a lot of our listeners are just going to hate you already.
Everyone
and
hates-
you spent half the video
No,
of
but-
that video, like the 45 seconds, half of it is you apologizing for being a Patriots fan.
Look, I don't apologize. I just understand everyone hates me.
But seriously though, fuck you.
Well, let's be clear, Khary, you're a Falcons fan.
I'm a Falcons fan because the thing is that as a Falcons fan, there was one thing that I could be sure of, that the Falcons and the New England Patriots were gonna suck. Mm-hmm. And then
it
Tom
stopped.
fucking Brady comes along, and 20 years,
You guys had Matty
It
Ice.
was pretty good.
dude.
You-
You know what? I'm still mad that they did not take Haloti Nada instead
Oh.
of Matty Ice, because I was like, I remember that draft, and I was like, if we're going to do this right, you got to start in the middle.
Yeah.
You got to start in the middle with that big honking dude, and Baltimore got their Super Bowl with Haloti Nada. I love Matty Ice. Ain't nothing wrong with Matty Ice.
A lot of people still think that he's going to come back. I'm not so sure.
No.
I mean,
No, that guy-
Carson Wentz got a job before he did.
Yeah,
and I don't know if
yeah.
he's officially retired, but that's
Yeah.
rough.
I don't think he's coming back.
Nah, I don't
Yeah.
think he is.
Here's what I'll say, Johnny.
Yeah.
This is my defense of my New England Patriots.
There's
Right.
no defense, man.
My
You get 2 minutes.
You know, if you stop bringing it up, then I will give you an out.
benefit of the
My-
doubt.
Yeah. Well, how long was your podcast? 45 seconds?
Yeah, 45 seconds.
Starting now.
Okay, great. My father's from Boston, and when I was a kid, as all other kids in the 90s, I was obsessed with Ken Griffey Jr., and I went out and bought a Seattle Mariners hat with my own money, and I wore it home, and my father looked me in the face at 7
Didn't
years
let
old
you
and said,
back
"Get the
inside."
fuck out of my house." And he made me sit outside until I burned it or went with him to buy a Red Sox hat. I was conditioned at like a very young age. My father, God rest him, glorious man, his final words on earth is he sat up in his deathbed 12 hours before he died and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Fuck the Jets." And so I have one. If I am
I
a
want to
fan
tell you
of
right. I want to tell you right
anything
now.
else-
You told that story a little bit ago,
I did.
and I wanted you to save it for the pod. But we already knew that story.
Yes. And I was trying to repeat it for the pod.
No. We knew it before you said it.
Before you said it.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
Jenny told us already.
What's Jenny got to do with this? Why is my wife part of this?
Okay, can I
Wait,
explain?
hold on.
We know things about you.
We know
What's
things.
happening
We
right
do.
now?
We already knew about Slugger the Sea Dog.
We already knew about
You've been
Slugger.
having
I hate that
for
you brought
years.
him already brought him up.
I know. All this stuff, all this material that we had. I was so hoping that we were going to be
Yeah,
able to reveal
I
to
was
you.
going to tell stories about your life and pretend that they were mine.
What's happening? Why did you call my wife?
Yeah.
What?
I did get in contact with her.
Oh my God!
Okay, so something I like to do for the show, and this is how this. Okay.
This is how this happened. Yeah.
So I like to contact family members of my guests if they allow me to talk to them to get in background information about like them growing up as sports fans or them growing up as nerds and getting really granular stuff that like, why the hell do you know this about me?
Right.
Okay.
I introduced myself last night to Khary at the party, and he said, "Hold on, I have to tell you, you reached out to my partner last night on social media." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm so sorry."
But here's the thing. Is that my partner,
Yeah.
you know, the uber talented, beautiful, and amazing Tracy Swatley, who is the key makeup artist on The Walking Dead.
Sure.
Okay. So the thing that
I
Johnny
always
didn't
preface this with
realize-
like, please don't tell your partner or your family member or whatever that I'm reaching out to you, because the whole point is to surprise.
Yeah. And but the thing is that Tracy, because she is in like very close contact with a lot of very, like popular people.
Sure.
She gets this all the time.
Sure.
So when she got a message, she was like, "Who the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? And
The blood drained from my face when he was saying that.
yeah.
Like,
and
oh
so-
God,
and
we were
so-
successful up in this point.
Yeah,
Like-
and so at at some point we're Tracy and I are talking, and she's like, "Wait, are you doing an interview or a podcast? Who is that guy?" And she was like, "Oh, that guy called me up and was asking," and she was like, "The thing you need to know about Tracy is that everybody confides everything with her." Because she is all vault,
I
and
love
she
it.
doesn't say anything, and so she's like, just like as you were conditioned by Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah.
Or is it is that the right one?
What about Munchausen syndrome?
No, it's not Munchausen. It's the one where like you get kidnapped into a group and then they
Stockholm syndrome.
yeah Stockholm syndrome is how you became like a
That's
Boston
exactly
Red Sox fan. Yeah. This is how she is like just like taught herself to not say anything, and so I was like you were barking up the wrong tree with Tracy. She wasn't gonna tell
absolutely
you
did.
nothing.
Yeah.
And so but then I knew the gig, and so I was like, okay, what'd you find out about Ned? Tell me everything.
So we were gonna try to finish your stories, and
Yeah, do all
it
of
didn't.
that.
It would have been way funnier if you didn't tell us all these stories.
About how I go to Chicago and start accidentally doing Chicago accents with Tracy's family.
Yeah, the moment that you talk to somebody with that accent, you just come out of it. Yeah.
We were gonna tell the story about your dad.
If you had told the story about your dad,
Yeah.
ended with that, I would have lost my mind.
If I would have been like, "Fuck the Saints."
100%.
Oh shit.
Okay, Khary. Last night you told me that you're are you from Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're telling
Born
me
in Augusta, raised in Athens.
very cool.
Go
That's
Dogs.
that's sports right there. You got
There you
Augusta
go.
golf, Athens, Georgia Bulldogs football.
Oh, yeah.
You were mentioning a couple of the people that you are fans of. You also mentioned the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
You're from Chicago, and you're cousins
Well, I'm not
with,
from Chicago. My partner, her family's
Okay.
from Chicago.
But you have a relationship with somebody
my
on
last
the
name
team.
is Payton.
It's true,
so,
of course.
Growing
Sweetness.
up, that's the one jersey.
Yeah.
That is going to have my name on the back.
Yeah, sure.
And he's greatest of all time. Pretty much. And then of course, and then my cousin. I found out my cousin is actually Justin Fields.
Starting quarterback for the
yeah.
Chicago Bears.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's burying the lead, bro.
yeah, it's correct. I mean,
He said, "Of course, we
Yeah.
were supposed to know this.
Like-
you were
like,
supposed
you
to do
know.
your research on him as well."
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't call Tracy.
yeah. So
She would have said no anyway.
right, yeah. She was, yeah. That's commonish knowledge, but you weren't gonna get it out of her.
This episode is brought to you by Hero Forge Custom Miniatures. Hero Forge is a free-to-use online character design application. That basically means if you want to play a TTRPG and you want to have a 3D printed miniature of your character, Hero Forge is the place to go. You can print them at home, you can print them there, and they will ship them to you. They are always incredibly crafted and designed, and the print process is so exact. It's really impressive. Every time I get to see one of these miniatures, their character design and customization is second to none. You get to 3D model your mini right there on screen, and you can see it as it real time. Updates to any kind of customization you want. Their facial customization is super impressive. Make sure that you go to heroforge.com to design your custom miniature today, and always check back regularly because they always come back with the coolest updates. They have new content every week, whether it's a new piece of clothing, a new race, whatever you can imagine, you can make it on heroforge.com. So go to heroforge.com today to start designing your own custom miniature. What's up, guys? It's Johnny again. I just wanted to thank you for listening and to encourage you to join our Patreon at patreon.com/athletics-check-pod. You'll have access to all of the little mini adventures that I run for each and every guest. This is about 10 to 15 minutes where I run them through a short TTRPG adventure. And for a lot of these people, especially the athletes, it's their first time running a game like this. So it's my honor to get to be their very first game master. And one of the best parts about being a paid member of the Athletics Check Podcast Patreon is that you get a chance of having your name shouted out in the middle of an episode. People like Andy Chang, Camilla, Francis Xavier Lally, John Guillaume, Jamie Bellin, Will, Zachary Loradich, Ladarius Smith, and Daniel Siuba. Thank you so much for being paid members. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Let's get back to the action. For Athletics Check, I feel like I want to find the people who are the perfect mixture of the jocks and the nerds.
Great.
I think that there is a little bit of jock and a little bit of nerd in all of us.
Absolutely.
And I think, at least I strive for 50-50 as much as possible. I think
Sure.
that there's great qualities on both sides, obviously.
The way I see it, all a nerd is, we're all nerds.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all read a book about something.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be a nerd about like very unnerdy shit. But you a fucking nerd.
It's true.
You know about it.
In my opinion, nerdiness is just a synonym for passionate.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it can apply to sports as well. So it's really we're all just nerdy. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
what would
yeah.
you say your guys' ratio of like nerd to jock is? Is it 50-50? Is it leaning a little heavier on one side or the other?
Well, as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I was a 2-sport varsity athlete, and then in the winters I did musical theater,
Right.
and I played D&D all the time. So that feels pretty close
Pretty
to
50-50,
50-50.
yeah.
Now, my religion is watching football,
Yeah.
and I play a lot of D&D. So I would say, like, I'm in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the ballpark. I'm probably a little bit more nerd. Having a D&D TV show really tips that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like before the D&D TV show, it was pretty close.
Yeah. I was always, you know, I mean, I played so much basketball growing up, but I was always kind of, you know, in one out the other. I was a you know, a rapper growing up, so I guess that gave me a certain side
What?
of, you know what I mean. And then
How long have I not known you, Khary?
you've
We
not
hang
known me
out-
for a really
Most
long
of your
time.
life.
We hang out a lot.
And he hasn't freestyled anything for you
No.
yet? He did for me earlier.
Yeah.
When we were
What's
when we were
happening?
talking about your history without your knowledge.
Yeah. You really could have gotten some good stuff out of Tracy if you know
God damn it.
waterboarded her, but I don't know if that would, you know, but that's about all it, you know, the only way you're getting anything out of her.
Did you have a rapper name?
Yeah, it was what was it? MCK. It was
Okay,
just
yeah.
MCK. It was simple.
Simple, easy.
Yeah.
Ned,
And-
what would your rapper name be?
No one needs that. maybe that's the name. No one wants this. Is my rapper name.
The
for
Ned.
Sure. The Ned.
The Ned.
Sure.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
last night you were saying that your nickname for Encounter Party, or that your code name or something, was the Golden Retriever.
No, so the way that this one works is when we were pitching the show, everyone had like a title.
Yeah.
Right? So like Andrew was the lore master, Brian was the dungeon master, right? Sarah was the heart.
Okay.
And Ned switched between sometimes I was the puzzle guy
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I was the golden retriever because I make huge, big facial expressions.
You
and
give
if you
golden
cut,
retriever energy.
If you cut to Ned, Ned's giving you some reaction.
Okay. There you go.
Everyone needs a golden retriever at their D&D stream.
Where did you guys' love for D&D come from? Was it? Now you said you grew up with it. Did you grow up with it as well? Because I didn't.
No.
I got it in college.
No, I got it like very recently.
Yeah.
You know, I was just playing with people who played D&D, and I was having conversations with Liam O'Brien and Matt Mercer, and they were like, "Dude, you got to play D&D with your kids," and I was like, "Yeah, I should do that. That'll
Right.
be fun." So I started. So we got a game, and I remember getting it with the box with my brother when we were in maybe junior
like
high
a
or
D&D
something.
book. Yeah.
But I just don't think we kind of flipped through it, but we really never played and didn't get. We
Right.
were like, the pictures are really cool, and that's
Yeah,
about
yeah,
as far
yeah.
as we got. So cut to my 40s, and I get another box and start playing with my kids. My daughter's like 6 or 7. And I'm like, okay, and a bunch of trolls come out, and she's like, trolls? And I was like, I mean, poop turtles. And she's like, poop turtles? And, it's, and then, we beat up on the poop turtles, and she goes into this crazy monologue about, don't you come around my village again, and it just like
She's taking after you with the monologues and
yeah,
everything.
Yeah, just monologue, and I guess she is my daughter,
Yeah.
and so and so I would just have fun playing with the kids, and then the Critical Role guys asked me to play, and it was like it was just, I feel like it reminded me of ADHD because ADHD to me is you're really skillful at something, but you're on the wrong court, or you're on the wrong field.
Okay.
It's like you're trying to play basketball on a football field.
Okay.
And then somebody's like, no. And then they move you to the right spot.
And
it's
it all
like,
clicks.
and all of a sudden you can do crazy cool shit. And it was like I had been training, like doing voiceover and black box theater and all of these different things, and they were like, and then they put this character sheet in front of me and started telling this story, and granted, I was playing with some really good
You're playing with some of the best.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Just throw me the ball. I can throw this down. And it was just like, the world came alive for me. Yeah. And but I was in my 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the first time I like played as a player was broadcast as Shikasta on the second season of
so like,
that's kicking you off the deep end.
Yeah. Second campaign of Critical Role, yeah.
That was right around, I think, the same time I started playing. That was like, what, 2018, 2017, around there.
Yeah, 2017.
That was around when I started. I was a junior or senior in college, and football wasn't necessarily going great for me at that point.
Right.
Like, lost my starting quarterback job, and, I was just hoping, I wanted something. It was also an injury, and I was trying to figure out, like, okay, where can I put all this energy towards?
Sure.
And that's kind of what ended up, I was transferred that from comics into the D&D, and discovered Critical Role, and you're one of the first guys I saw.
That's so crazy, man. Yeah. It's wild how I mean the beauty of it is I'm sitting at the table and playing with those guys, and then which was fun, and it was kind of one off here and there, and I started doing one offs a little bit, and then these guys asked me to play. And that's when I realized this might be the best job ever.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I get to write, I get to act, and I also get to improv. Yeah. It's all of these things that the excitement of, I did stand up for a little while. We'll talk about that too later.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a renaissance, man.
And it's just there's the immediacy of that to me in doing stand up. The most fun, I mean, I love doing a set, but the most fun part about stand-up is the first few minutes before, when you get on stage and I go hunting for the person who's gonna try and fuck up my act, who's gonna try to like heckle, and I was like, before you even get a running start, I'm just gonna put a forearm in your chest.
I mean, that's football right there. You're trying to hit them before you get hit.
Exactly.
That's jamming the gap right there.
You get them, and the thing is that by doing that, you get everybody on your side.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and the audience is like, oh, we're a part of this, and you go, and so that aspect of being like, okay, how do I make this group, into my own, there's so much of that aspect that I love about it, but it takes many of the things that I feel like I've been training at different parts, and it brought it all together. And the only thing I just every once in a while I just wish somebody would like let me stand up and like actually take a great axe to the table. It's like the only thing.
We got insurance as your producer. We got insurance problems.
Yeah. He keeps telling me no. But maybe that's where the sports angle comes in. You know what I mean? Because you get your aggression out.
Yeah, you absolutely get that. Just like adrenaline rush. You roll a natural 20. You just want to run through a brick wall. It's absolutely true. And you were talking about like before getting up on stage and stand up. Kind of, I imagine you kind of get those same kind of butterfly feelings that I might have run out of the tunnel or something. Where it's feeling that or before going a recording of Encounter Party. It's 100%. Like making sure like or going up on stage on doing your musical or
stage
before
fright is stage fright.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
the beauty
they're
of
all stages.
There's the stage fright, and then you know, there's something about like hanging with everybody. To me, there was a bit of a rehearsal,
Locker room
just
feel.
of us getting to know each other.
Yeah. 100%.
That helped me like feel prepared. Because to me, there's nothing better than being about to step on stage or about to perform and feeling so prepared that I'm like I don't think there's anything you can come at me with that you know that and there's a cockiness that comes along.
Just being at the top of your game.
Oh my God, you know, and it's like you know it's like when you're playing that game and just everything's going in.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like I was never a very good shooter. I was always trying to take it to the
rack.
Yeah, to the rack. But you know, every once in a while, you know, you just get hot. And it's just like keep shooting, you know. And to me, with basketball, I never practiced shooting enough to actually feel like I was that prepared.
Yeah.
It just happened sometimes. But with the show, with the encounter party, it was like there were very few moments that I was like I felt so at home and ready to go. And the cool thing is that I didn't know what to expect from these people. I was the new guy.
Yeah.
You know?
First time I played with Khary for real was that day.
Yeah.
Day one of we did a 2-hour make burner characters one shot.
Yeah.
So that Khary could like meet some of us.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
only about half of us were free, and I had to dip early because I had a show that night.
Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah. So that was the first time we did it, and I didn't realize just how well everybody complimented each other.
Yeah.
You
You guys have something special over there.
Thank you.
It's great.
It's
Yeah.
a really, when we cast the
Yeah.
show in 2019, we specifically looked for people that had completely different backgrounds and skill sets for the sake of like no two people should fill the same role.
Right.
And
Right.
when we knew we were going to expand the table for the TV show, and the genesis behind that was purely aesthetical. We realized if Brian was in the center, we needed 3 on each side. And so we started talking about expanding up, and we had a short list of names, and Khary's name came up, and Brian and I were both like, oh my God, can we talk to Khary Payton, please? Because it was like, what Khary brings to our table is something no one from that podcast had. It's a completely different thing. It fills such a need and such a void. And like, I remember we came off that first day of filming, and the podcast people
Recklessness, probably.
yeah. And the podcast people went aside, and we were like, oh shit, we got so lucky here.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Like, it is so vital to these tables, and for us especially.
But it wouldn't even exist for your pure, I think, drive and competitiveness, which I think as something that has crossed over from you playing lacrosse in high school and then into musical theater,
Shout
going like, just having that drive, I think, is something that is absolutely something that you have to learn like going through
Totally.
as a young adult, as a child. And I think that's one of the things that sports is so great at teaching you, and why it's so important. And that I imagine is translated into your musical theater career and into getting Counterparty made. And you said spent 5 years trying to get this thing, created.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think about it a lot. Like, I grind. I'm a hustle human. And that comes from a long time ago. I was launching a cappella groups in high school, and in college I was doing, indie film everywhere and making underground theater. Like, I've always just been a guy who makes stuff. But a lot of my like grind to make stuff came from like practice. It came from like, I want to get really good at touching the soccer ball. Like, I want to get really good at catching that lacrosse ball. And I would sit against a brick wall and I'd, throw it 1,000 times a night. Like, and that was baked into me at a really young age from playing sports.
Yeah. No, I getting on stage or on a pitch or on a field, I was always like, don't misrepresent yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you step on here, this might be the one time, they see you do what you do.
Right.
Totally.
It's like, don't let him walk away thinking, yeah, he was all right.
He was fine.
He was pretty good. You better let
gotta
him walk out of there with their hair on fire.
Make your presence known.
Yeah. I remember being on stage at doing a show called I hate it when I can't remember shit. I'm getting old. No, it's not. I've always done this. But I was doing this show where not a lot of people were there, but there was a couple of people in the front who just seemed like they weren't
Just feeling it. Yeah.
they weren't feeling it. and I had a moment where I was supposed to yell at some kind, like person off in the distance, and I was like, I'm not gonna let them leave here thinking that,
this was just some experience.
This was just some experience. Yeah. So I bent down and I fucking yelled at them, and I know that they walked away and they were like, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they remember
But
you.
they remember me, and at the end of the day, you want to give somebody an experience that they're not gonna soon forget. So yeah.
Well, we're nearly out of light here.
Yeah.
So
Light is low.
It's a little bit of a shorter episode, but what we're gonna do is first off, I want to thank you both so much for being on the show, for agreeing to, and this is such a cool opportunity. I've been able to got to meet you earlier, a little bit last year at the Encounter Party, like premiere at the Dungeons and Dragons Adventures show. I know you were there. I didn't get the chance to meet you there, but I got to meet you last night.
Yeah.
It's so great to be able to see more people who are sports fans in the industry.
Yeah.
I want to get the ratios as after having all these conversations. What do you feel like your guys' ratio? And I apologize, we didn't get to even talk about the minor league baseball hats, which I know is something that you've been so excited about.
We'll have to
the
do
last
a part
24 hours.
We
gotta
You
do
guys
a
have
part
to come
two.
back.
Gives me an excuse to come back to LA.
You can tell me all about the minor league hats that you have. But I do want to get, like, what do you feel like your guys' ratio is? 50-50, 60-40, nerd, jock? Like, after having all this conversation, realizing what brought you into, like, the person that you are and having sports be a part of that, what would you say your ratio is off the top of your head?
I mean, it's pretty 50-50 for me. I mean, I grew up, it was sports, and it was, for me growing up, like sci-fi comics.
Oh, cool.
Sci-fi and comics. Like my dad, it was Star Trek. He was a huge Star Trek fan. And he was like I remember he went to a convention and he was like, he's kind of conservative, and he was like, okay, well, I thought I was a big fan. I didn't realize, shit, man, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
But he loved Star Trek,
Yeah.
and he loved he loved merging, because he was a doctor and a chemist, and loved merging science with wonder, know, and my mom is absolutely the biggest sports fan I know.
Amazing. Same thing with me. My mom is way bigger sports fan.
Oh yeah. Baseball, middle of the night. I'm in LA. She's in Georgia.
Yeah.
I remember my uncle once. He was he had like double bypass surgery or something. We were all worried about him. I'm having drinks with friends. It's like 10:30, 11 at night in LA, which means it's like 2 a.m. in Georgia. My mom calls me. I was like, guys, I got to take this. I'm sorry, my uncle.
Yeah.
I get up, I walk away. I was like, Mom, is everything okay? She's like, are you watching this game? She is the biggest, fan, and she was the one who was always like, it was Georgia. It was the Falcons. I mean, the year that Tua threw that pass that beat Georgia in the Georgia Dome. I was there on the 50-yard line. I could have slapped Jake Fromm in the back of the head. I was, I literally, it was a one time I really used my Walking Dead to get in. I was like, guys, I need a ticket.
Yeah.
Somebody get me in there.
Got you a hell of a ticket.
No. They didn't. They had me in a ticket in the rafters.
Oh, no.
But they got me in.
Yeah.
And and I'm sitting there and I was like, I'm in. I'm looking around, and then there's somebody who's holding 2 signs, and they're like Mercedes-Benz Lounge and VIP blah 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 lounge. And I was like,
You can get in the VIP
I walked
lounge.
in there. I walked up to him. I was like, which one of these lounges is the nicer one? And they was like, oh, the Mercedes-Benz Lounge. It's down there. You go right into the. I was like, huh.
That's
what I was like, and I literally walked up to the security guard. I was like, "Hi, Khary Payton Ned, Walking Dead, King Ezekiel. I just was wondering if it."
I got it. Did you have the dreads at the time?
No, I didn't have the dreads. That was just a big wig.
Sure, but I know. Yeah.
But I literally walked up to him. I was like, "Listen, do you think I could get down there?" And I was like, "They're not going to let you in there." And I was like. You think I could go and ask somebody? He was like, sure, if you want to try. I walk down, I get down there. It was the night that Trump came to the thing. So I go down the escalator, all right, and there's like, MPs, military, and everything, with AKs, and I'm just like, how you doing? Thank you for your service. How you doing? Thank you for your service. Walking down, no badge, no nothing. I get to the next lady. I was like, how you doing? Khary Payton King, Ezekiel, The Walking Dead. I was just wondering if and she was like, I don't know who you are. I was like, I bet your boss knows who I am. And she was like, Martin comes over. Martin knows who I am. He was like, you want to try to get in there? Go ahead, walk. I get down to the bottom level. I get down to the bottom level. There are 3 people at the door, and there the glass like wall is like 2 stories high.
Yeah.
There are 4 bars in there.
Yeah.
It is
this
gorgeous.
This is the real VIP.
This is the real VIP joint. And I scope out the 3 ladies who are sitting there checking everybody's, credentials.
I mean, The Walking Dead's the biggest show in the world at this time. One of these 3 women have to be a Walking Dead fan.
I know. I don't know why. I picked the one in the middle. I walked up. I said, how you doing? I'm Khary Payton. I play King Ezekiel on The Walking Dead. There's a really good friend of mine. I just really want to say hello. You think I could walk in there? And she looked at me and she went. and I walked into that bar. I got myself a drink. I looked on the other side of the bar, and I was like, is that the field?
Hell yeah.
And I walked out onto the field. I set my drink on the 50-yard line, like right behind, the Gatorade bar or whatever. And I was like, I'm not fucking moving.
No, this is it.
And I sat
Did
there.
you go to the game with anybody? Were you on your own?
No, I was on my own.
Oh my God.
I just met a bunch of people watching the game, and I sat there. And until the last 30 seconds, we had that game won.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's the definition of acting like you've been there before, right there. It's like they're not going to ask any questions if you act like you've been there.
I had never done anything like that before.
Well, here's what's important.
But
Someday you're going to walk up and you're going to say, hi, I'm Khary Payton, and I play Tolo on Encounter Party.
There you go.
That's when we got it.
That's when we got it.
I think that's a good point to end it on. Right there. I think I want to ask you guys to do 2 things for me.
Great.
Athletics check. You guys are now in the annals of history in athletics check.
Great.
And one of the first 10 episodes. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah.
And I want to retire your guys' jerseys.
Oh,
but we don't exactly have jerseys numbers for you guys to wear.
Sure.
But what we do have are D100.
Yeah, sure.
And what you can do is roll a D100 and figure out what number is going to be risen up to the rafters that no one else can have.
I'll take that.
So I have a couple dice here next to me.
What's already been taken?
Taken are 87, 39, 6,
Someone got
and 44.
the tight end number in the first 10.
Tight end. 88's still there.
That's wild.
87, 39, 6, and 44. So,
all right.
Who wants to roll first?
I'll go.
Khary's taken.
Bring him.
Number 93. It's a good
all
D-line
right.
number
That's
right there.
pretty
Yeah, man.
That's the same thing in reverse.
It is the same thing in reverse.
That
Well,
is the same
makes
thing in
sense.
reverse. There you go.
You know what?
Those numbers called to you.
I've always wanted to rush the quarterback, so there you go.
93.
A quick anecdote about Khary Payton. On our show, he rolled dice so aggressively that he started to create a new dice rolling technique so they wouldn't roll off the table. And you'll notice for about half the episodes, Khary rolls and immediately puts his hand on top of the dice tray.
Yeah.
And that is purely because he would throw them so hard they would bounce back
out.
up.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's see it. What number is going into the rafters?
We have 67.
67. That's a good O-line number right
Yeah,
there.
you go.
I would
You guys
make
are heading
a
off against each
terrible O-lineman.
And the last thing I would love for you guys to do is you got to roll me an athletics check.
What's my bonus
I'm
here?
going to ask you, what do you feel like your athletics bonus is? Are you proficient? What's your strength score?
I would call myself proficient.
Okay.
I'm not the strongest guy in the world. I currently am on a path to knee surgery. So we're not going to say that my athletics is fantastic at this
plus
time.
1, plus 2?
I'm going to give myself a +2
Okay.
because I'm egotistical.
All right. What is that?
I mean, that's a 20 non-natural.
Boom.
Dirty
That's 18
20.
plus 2 right
let's,
there.
Let's go. All right, Khary?
I'll do one because I'm 51.
Yeah!
Okay, there you
So
go.
there you go.
That is a
4.
6 plus 1. That's a
6 plus
7.
Seven.
Lucky
All right.
number 7.
Lucky number
You know what?
7.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna, if you're the offensive lineman, you're the defensive lineman. I'm going to say that was a pretty good run block.
Yeah, there you go. I think he ran right through me.
for the Patreon viewers, we're going to do probably the shortest little micro session that we've ever done, but I do want to make sure that you get the chance to be able to do this. I appreciate you guys for being so patient.
Heck
Thank
yeah,
you so
man.
much. You
Thanks
guys
for
are
having.
incredible. Everybody at home, roll me an athletics check. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to rate it and leave us a review. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else podcasts can be found. Don't forget, we do have a Patreon in which we talk to each of our guests about playing Dungeons & Dragons, and I run them a little adventure. I hope you guys do enjoy that if you are a Patreon subscriber. Audio editing and music by the incredible co-host Travis Reeves. Video production and editing by Frank Janish. And I'm your host, Johnny Stanton IV. To find out more about what I do, check out my website, stantoniv.com. This has been an effing funny production. We'll catch you next time, but until then, can you roll me an athletics check?